Welcome back to my channel. My current bullet journal only has enough pages to finish the month of July, so for the rest of the year I'm setting up a new bullet journal. I'm starting off by writing 2019 on the first page. Even though we're more than halfway done with the year, it just felt right to have a page that read 2019 because I will be using this journal for the rest of this year. The next page is my key. I wrote the word key in faux calligraphy and then I drew the symbols that I use in a box with rounded corners. Now I'm doing my at a glance. Even though I will only be using this new bullet journal from August to December, I still wanted to include January to July in my at a glance. I chose to do this because if for some reason I wanted to know what date January 1st was, I could just refer to my at a glance rather than looking it up or looking back into my previous bullet journal. I used a gray Crayola Super Tip to draw a line under each month, and in that gray line I wrote the days of the week. I took a break when I was roughly halfway done because my hands were getting really tired. It was a bit tedious to write down so many small numbers, but the end result was worth it. So I decided that the title didn't stand out that much, so I went over with my pen again and wrote at a glance in faux calligraphy. The bullet journal that I've been using up until now and my new bullet journal are of different brands, so I decided that a grid spacing page would be really important. I wrote the title at the bottom right hand corner and I numbered the spaces both horizontally and vertically. I used different color pens to mark different links in my bullet journal, and I can refer back to this page when I'm planning my weekly spreads. I drew a dot at the middle of the page and I drew a dotted line going horizontally and vertically from the top. So on my next page I did a quote, and my quote is, "Every end is a new beginning." I thought this quote was very fitting because I am near the end of my current bullet journal, but it's going to be the beginning of my new bullet journal. So I thought the quote page was still looking a bit empty, so I added some stars and sparkles around the quote. So I went over a few words with my Crayola Super Tip again just to make the words look a bit bolder and to stand out more. Now I'm moving on to my future log. I used 2 pages for my future log and I divided up each page into 3 sections. Each month took up 1 section, but since I only need 5 more months in my new bullet journal, I had 1 section left. So at first I was like, what do I put in that remaining section? Should I just include July in my future log even though it's already passed? But then I decided to have 1 section that says 2020, so if I know beforehand that I'm going to have any major events happening in 2020, I can just write it down here, and then when I move into my bullet journal for 2020, I can copy the events from the section over to my new bullet journal. And just a little something extra, I drew boxes around the mini calendars for each month. So I decided to include a page for theme ideas. So for this page, I drew 2 boxes. The first box is much narrower than the second box in comparison, and I wrote the word list at the top of the first box, and at the top of the second box I wrote doodles. To finish up the spread, I just added drop shadows to both boxes and I highlighted the word list and the word doodles. The next page is for video ideas. For this page I drew a huge box and I wrote brainstorming. I added a drop shadow for this box as well and I highlighted brainstorming. So I thought these pages still looked a bit empty, so I added some stars to the top of the page. And this is my final flip through. And that concludes my setup for my second bullet journal of 2019. Thanks for watching.